need my super awesome, super fantastic co-organizer, Jesse. Hey, give Jesse a welcome and a round of applause. For all of you who have been on a bus, for you, not the greatest seals ever, and some people that don't know so much of that. Alright, so let's open this up. Alright, so hey everyone, I'm Ashley, Katie, what up? And my listener over there, we're going to be our two guests here. Welcome to HackDuke, Grid, to that fall 2014. Let's give yourself a round of applause for making it all the way out here to Duke University. Alright, so as you all know from our website, this is a Grid event. Well, for social good, we've gathered the best and brightest minds here. Also, we encourage you to build something, to learn something, to learn from your mentors, to learn from the community partners, to code for good to make a difference. And obviously, as we all know, we're not going to promise that we're going to come up with an absolutely sort of tech solution to everything, all the problems out there in the world, but we're going to try. Alrighty. So a few things that I want to announce here. Let's say a few rules for you, kind of like things to go down. So we have 4, max the team. Second rule, be respectful to one another. I think you all know that. Another thing is that another change that we're going to have is the fact that the expo is going to be a little bit different. So as if you take a look at the schedule, the expo is going to be split up into 2 parts. There's going to be a 1 hour part for the education and the poverty and inequality tracks. So all of the social tracks that qualify under those tracks. And then after that, we have a 30-minute break for all y'all to eat. And then we have the health and wellness and energy and environment tracks that are going to go. So the one thing that's different is that, as for a lot of hackathons that you might be used to, we call, a lot of them call it the top 7 and the top 10. And from there, we have a select few judges kind of narrow this down to the top 3, and then we have the EPR process prizes. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a little bit different. This is why I'm telling you guys out there, and we're also going to make a post about it. It's on the challenge post, a lot of these people are broken down. We are utilizing all of our, how many mentors showed up here? I think we have around 100 mentors. You know how big of a ratio that is? I'm super excited about that. So we are utilizing all 100 of our mentors. Hopefully they're going to be coming back on Sunday, and they're going to all be working together to judge during the expo. And we're going to try our very, very best to send at least 2 judges around to basically judge your hack based off of technical difficulty, but not only that, sustainability and whether this is going to be a useful hack, something that non-profit can actually see themselves using, as well as basically basically the most effective hack out there. I think with that said, Jesse, would you like to kind of give any more announcements?
I have a small thing. So once again, we're super pumped to have you all here. We're so glad you made it out. We already have 2 lost things. There's a Toyota key with a fob on it. Come get me in the front after the opening ceremony, and probably a sponsor. We have a Hilton hotel key card. And one more thing, one of our sponsors is missing a live stripe pen in the box. So if you accidentally have that, just please can talk to us or bring it back in their questions asked. Thank you so much. Have a good time.
Honestly, as you all know, retreat was a little bit of a doozy for some of y'all. You still do, obviously, I think you all want a awesome badge. It's pretty cool, I think, but if you know, ours is 16 of those things are really cool. If you don't have one, if you just have a lighter, please go to our information desk. We will have a space for you to be, printing out your cards and all, etc. For all those that are coming in, there are specific questions. Alright, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mayor Bell. He's the mayor of Durham. I'm really excited to have him here. Mayor Bell, would you like to take over?
How's everybody doing? I have wonderful computer unit at a time. Knowing I can just drive up to the center and park my car and come on in. Now Duke's got a football team in the top 25. It's a little bit different. I had to go out to the Billboard room, so I had to pick up the car and bring it here and walk into the building. So good things happen in Durham, right? Good. Let me say, first of all, it's an honor to have an opportunity to serve as the mayor of the city of Durham, and it's always an honor to bring greetings on behalf of the Durham City Council and the 240,000 people who live in our city. We want to thank Ashley especially and Martin for their work on this effort. Duke has a very long and lasting special relationship with Duke, and this is an event that this shows that in more different ways. I understand we might have over 500 plus students here. I heard we have 100 mentors and great corporations here. It looks like it'll be a real good day to kick this off. Durham is the 4th largest city in the state of North Carolina. We're a population of about 240,000 persons. We have no ethnic majority. We're a city that prides herself on our diversity. We see in medicine, home research firms, Barclay, 500 companies, great university, Duke, NCCU, home of North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics. We have a revitalized downtown. Durham used to be a city of tobacco, textiles, farming, etc. None of it goes on now. We had an opportunity to go to the downtown area. We still see the tobacco factories that have been refurbished. And now we've got people living there, working there, and it's really going to be a 24/7 point of visit for people to come here. And you might say, why am I saying that? Well, I'm saying that right primarily when we're in the city of Durham. The other reason I'm saying is that hopefully you guys might consider making this your home. Durham is really a great place. We're becoming known as the entrepreneurial and innovation center of the South. And if you went into some of the areas, you can see a lot of this happening. We just opened a Durham Innovation District, where we're bringing top scientists on our one house so that we'll be working together on very important cutting-edge technologies. But this today is very important for us in Durham for many reasons. We are trying to look at a lot of things in Durham, and I'd like to tell you about how fast technology moves. I'm a former retired IBM engineer for the IBM Corporation here in the Research Triangle Park. I retired back in 1996, and it just amazes me how fast technology has changed. We didn't really have anything called social media, believe it or not. In 1996, we were just getting into the PC, just doing open source code, just a whole lot of things that were beginning to happen. And now, if I look at where technology is today, it's just really, really amazing. So I appreciate greatly the fact that not only are you here today, but you've taken an interest in this area, and I know you're going to do good things, not just for yourself, but for the communities that you work in and for the country as a whole. We've kickstarted this effort by making some Durham City and County data open, especially at the time for this event. For example, you may have known that we're doing some things on poverty in Durham. One of the issues that I kicked off with my State of City address was the issue of poverty in our community. And in spite of all the resources that we have in this community, 240,000 people, we still have about 40,000 persons that live in poverty. And in my opinion, that's way too many for a city of this size and for the resources that we have here. So one of the initiatives that we've kicked off is the theme of reducing poverty neighborhood by neighborhood, year by year, starting in 2014. And what we've attempted to do is to do something that's more data-driven rather than anecdotal. So we've targeted a particular area within the city of Durham. We've gotten data that we're looking at. We've really gone out and done some door-to-door knocking, talking to residents. We've established about 6 task forces to look at this issue of poverty: health, education, housing, jobs, public safety, and finance. And we've gotten all of the elected officials at the county, the city, school board to either co-chair one of these task forces. More importantly, we've got residents, we've got people from across the community that have gotten involved. So I'm hoping that as a part of what you do today, you might have an opportunity to look at some poverty reduction initiatives and maybe tell us some things we might be able to do in a way that we're trying to meet our goal. We're in the process of also trying to develop a light rail system in the area from Durham, Orange County to Durham County, hopefully Wake County, they get this active next year. But we're trying to do that. So transportation is going to be a very important issue. And I know you've been giving open code to some of our transportation issues here in the city of Durham, so hopefully we'll be able to make use of that. One of the issues that constantly people talk about when you're talking about redeveloping, recolonizing an area, particularly depressed neighborhoods, is the whole issue of gentrification. We haven't had many gentrification in downtown Durham because nothing from downtown started. So we didn't displace it, nothing's there. But there's some neighborhoods that we're looking at. And we want to make sure that if we do this revitalization, we don't put ourselves in a position where we're talking about gentrification. So again, a lot of great things that we feel can be useful for the work that you guys are doing here. We're looking forward to the results of what comes out of this. And again, we talked about great things happening in Durham. Well, today is one of the great things that's happening. Thank you for being here. We wish you the best. We look forward to having a good time. And hopefully, for those of you who may be here for the first time, it won't be your last time. Those who've been here before, we seriously want to say, look about, thinking about making Durham your home. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
The founder of ShareFile, currently at Citrix, Jess Lipson.
Thanks, Ashley. Morning, everybody. So, my name is Jess Lipson. 14 years ago, I was sitting in your spot. I was a senior at Duke University working on my first startup idea. You guys are much further along than I was because I was a philosophy major at the time and didn't know how to code. And so after my first startup failed when I was a senior, I decided after I graduated to learn to code. And I became a software programmer and started a company called ShareFile. And basically what ShareFile does is it helps businesses exchange files that are either confidential or too large to send by email. And we're based here in Raleigh, North Carolina. We have about 600 employees now, so we've grown quite a bit, over 50,000 customers, and we were acquired by Citrix a few years ago. So I'm really excited to be here for this Code for Good hackathon. I think that one of the things I want to leave you guys with when we're talking about Code for Good is oftentimes the first thing that comes to mind when you think about coding for good is that you need to be coding something that's related to a nonprofit or a charity, but there are a lot of things you can do when you create something new from scratch, when you create something from nothing that can be good. If you think about the kind of social impact that apps like Twitter and Facebook have had, a tremendous amount of good can come from that. And so I'd urge you guys to think a little bit more broadly over the next day when you start to think of your hackathon ideas. Even with ShareFile, what we've done with Citrix, the job creation and the ability that we've created for businesses to be more productive has created a tremendous amount of good. We are sponsoring one of the prizes, the Health and Wellness Prize, and so we have a few people here from Citrix who can help with APIs, all the APIs to ShareFile, GoToMeeting, GoToMyPC, all the other products that we sell. If you are thinking about an idea in health and wellness, ShareFile fundamentally from turnkey is HIPAA compliant, so dealing with confidential information, APIs like Dropbox aren't going to actually cut it, and so we actually specialize in dealing with confidential data. So talk to Robert or Alan or some of the other guys here if you have an idea that you think can leverage the ShareFile API. But really excited to be here, we're really excited to sponsor, and we're really looking forward to all the amazing things that you guys are going to be creating over the next couple of days. And to Mayor Gall's point earlier, I'm not from North Carolina, I didn't think I would end up in North Carolina, but there's actually an amazing startup scene that's happening here. So Durham, I think the Kauffman Foundation recently rated Durham the #3 mid-sized city in the country for startup density, and Raleigh is #8 for large cities in startup density in the entire US. So I know that when I was at Duke, Raleigh seemed like it was just, in a completely different state. It's only a 20 or 30 minute drive away, so I urge you guys to go there. There's a lot of really interesting things happening in the startup scene in Raleigh. And with that, I will turn it back to Ashley. Best of luck, guys. The latest I checked on the score, Duke is up 10-0, so I'm sorry for the text, but
Thank you for that. Next up, we have Kyle Gregory. Talking about energy and environment.
Thanks so much, Ashley. Well, great to be here, everybody. Good to see you all. I'm also a Duke grad, and you're working at Duke now, so we'll see some good stuff out of everybody here. So, now, energy is what power you sell. Energy is something we use every day. It's such an important part of what we do, but there are so many other uses and applications and benefits of reducing the amount of energy we use and using it more efficiently. Think about water. We're able to provide clean and abundant water if we have clean and abundant energy. We are able to reduce resource conflicts like those in the Middle East over oil and natural gas. We are able to save people and businesses and organizations money to help them use that on other more important things. And of course, something that everybody here should be aware of, it helps significantly counteract climate change. Now, for those of you here who have not maybe heard as much about climate change, global temperatures are rising, by the way. You might not be able to tell it from outside today, but it's happening. So, in the past century, we have seen the 20 warmest years since 1981. We have seen the 10 warmest in the last 12 years. This is not a question. Scientific evidence of warming of the climate system is unequivocal. This comes from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. This is happening. 97% of scientists now agree that climate change is due to human actions. And as you can see from the plot here, the CO2 levels are at concentrations that we haven't seen in 650,000 years. This is a concern. What does this lead to? We see global sea levels rising. More and more island nations are suffering from these rising sea levels. Florida, that's beachfront property today. Tomorrow, maybe that's the Appalachians. Who knows what's happening there? It rose 6.7 inches in the last century. Rate has doubled in the last decade. We look at ocean temperatures also rising. 0.3 degrees Fahrenheit since 1969. You think, oh, 0.3 degrees Fahrenheit. Do you know how much ocean there is out there? It's a lot. There's a lot of thermal inertia going on there. To make that level of temperature rise happen, it's significant changes. We're seeing declining Arctic, Antarctic, and glacial sea ice. We see oceans acidifying. Now, what's the problem here? All of the foundations of our ecosystems are in the oceans. If that goes wrong, that spells disaster for us. Increased 30% in its acidity since 1800. So this is not meant to be a doom and gloom. This is meant to get you excited about what you can do to change that starting today. Well, first of all, we look at what's happening. We're transitioning to lower carbon fuels. You see a move from coal to natural gas. That's a 50% reduction in carbon emissions just by making that fuel switch. Then we're looking to integrate renewables into the grid. Right now, we're up to 14% of the US electricity mix coming from renewables, including biomass, wind, solar. We are looking at hydroelectric. All of these systems are coming together to help us move away from carbon-intensive sources. Now, of course, the wind doesn't always blow, the sun doesn't always shine, but so this leads to intermittency issues. We have to work together to figure out how we can integrate all of these intermittent sources of energy into the grid so that we can benefit from their energy, their abundant and renewable energy. Now, I'm not saying to go out today and install solar panels, but we can get solar data from NREL and figure out what might be the best use of energy storage to integrate that into the grid. Just saying. Now, we can leverage smart grid data that we're seeing more and more coming to being. We have millions of smart meters that are being deployed in millions in homes across the United States. California, Texas, they're installed in almost every building. This is giving second-by-second data on what the energy consumption of that building is doing. But why do we care? Well, energy efficiency improvements in buildings alone could reduce U.S. energy consumption by 8%. 8%! That's approximately equivalent to all of Mexico's energy consumption in about the last 10 years back. In that year, what would that be, 2004? Around there, that was Mexico's energy consumption. This is huge, huge amounts of energy that could be saved just by reducing energy consumption in buildings. Now, the issue is we don't really understand what it costs to flip the switch. So, prime example. Think about this. And this is a little anecdote from a local company called Hotbot, which is operating in this space right now. Think about going grocery shopping. Something that everybody loves to do, right? So when you go grocery shopping, what are you doing? You're going along and you're starting to put things in your basket. Imagine if there wasn't a single price on any of the items in the supermarket. Well, what would you do? What would you buy?
It's free.
There you go. You're buying whatever you want. You're buying the things that taste the best. You don't care how much they cost. It doesn't matter. It's tasty. So what are you doing? You go to the checkout line at the end. They say, oh, come back. And at the end of the month, we'll send you a bill. You go ahead and enjoy it. That's exactly what's happening every time you flip the switch in a building. You are making a purchase, but that purchase is being actually paid at the generators that are producing it. So, but we pay for that. We don't understand our electricity consumption very well. I was at a recent event where we were asking people about what they thought their cell phone chargers cost them in the course of a year. So this very, very nice woman, yes, $600 over the course of the year. No, actually it's 40 cents. But, so it's not necessarily worth going around your house pulling out your cell phone chargers, but if you are able to reduce your lighting, that brings it from $1,500 a month if you're using all incandescents in a typical home, down to $400 a month. And that also translates into greenhouse gas emissions reductions. That's huge. That's huge. So what are we doing? So, at HackDuke, I've got a project going on with a few people in the energy initiative. Working on a vast connections project. I'll mention those names again later. But we're taking home energy consumption. This shows the power consumption for a representative home over the course of a day. You can see things spiking up and down, going across the day. That's interesting. I can sum it up and know how much energy I use, but that's not very actionable. What if I could use advanced machine learning techniques to take this aggregate signal and break it down into this one, where now I know how much my dishwasher is using, how much my refrigerator is using, how much my clothes dryer is using, and I can say, oh, well, my dishwasher, maybe it's not as efficient as it could be, maybe it's broken. Maybe I can predict if it were to be breaking in the next few days. For commercial organizations, that becomes huge. If you can predict when a freezer is going to die for a company, you can save all of the money of lost food that would be otherwise lost through that equipment failure. This is huge in terms of its potential abilities. It becomes actionable information that you can use and bring forward. Now, when you start looking at this, you think about how can you start finding out this type of information? Well, all it takes to get this type of data is a single smart meter. Those are already being deployed through homes across and buildings across the US. This is the information we can get access to. This is information you guys can use and leverage to find out new ways of improving energy efficiency in buildings and homes. So, for those of you here at Duke or outside Duke interested in Duke, a couple of things to keep in mind. Duke University Energy Initiative. We are an organization that brings together the education, research, and engagement opportunities related to energy. And Vast Connections is a Duke University-wide initiative to create interdisciplinary project teams focused on addressing problems of social importance. You can participate for a year on a project team. Both of those have strong energy connections. So think about that, think about getting involved. I'll leave you with this. Conventional energy resources are finite, but human ingenuity is not. So go off, change the world, and have fun doing it. Thank you.
Okay, yes, we have Adam from HackDuke. Amazingly well and definitely very, very closely with us to get as many community members as possible. We also suggest that we are actually live streaming this over to Chichiana Auditorium for, it's a full house here. So I would suggest all the mentors to actually speak in through the microphone just so that people can hear more clearly over in Chichiana. Okay, let me take, let Mark take it away.
Thank you, Ashley. This is good.
Yes.
Okay. We are really excited to be here. I'm here as a volunteer on behalf of the Forum, which is a local chapter of Code for America. And if you don't know, that's a national nonprofit that tries to bridge the gap between the tech world and local governments and community nonprofits that don't necessarily have the tech skills every day to draw upon to solve problems. And so that's what this conference is about. That's what we're about. And we're happy to partner with the HackDuke team to reach out into the community, reach to the city and the county, and do a few things, 3 things. One is to work on local challenges and articulate those with local mentors. The second is open data, and the third is to talk about sustainability after this conference. So on the challenges side, you might find little signs around with a bit.ly link in the Facebook page. There's bit.ly links in the chat room for this event. There's bit.ly links to local challenges that community partners have said are problems that they face. Kyle did a great job of giving an overview of a lot of the issues in energy. Some of these challenges are very specifically tied to challenges that people face every day in their organization, and there's a lot of overlap. And we have some mentors here who will be helping you think about those challenges and iterate on ideas that you come up with that aren't on these pages, because this is just a starting point. So if you want to take up one of these challenges, they all have bit.ly/health challenges, bit.ly/edg challenges, bit.ly/poverty challenges. You can go on there. If you want to work on one, maybe just make a comment and say, I'm working on this. If you have any questions, you can hit us up in the chat room. Or tweet at us or whatever. We'll be at that Code for Durham table in the center. Mentors will be kind of gathering there to bounce ideas off of you that you can bounce ideas off of. So at Open Data, we have an Open Data portal that is provided through Socrata, which is an Open Data portal company, among other things. So we have a lot of data sets. Kyle mentioned that there's a wealth of data out there. So we're pointing to a lot of these data sets that you can use. You don't have to go searching for it as much. And we are also willing to go out and find data for you, depending on how many people want that. We're happy to help find it and put it up on the portal, and automatic APIs are created when we upload onto this portal, so it's easier to work with. Let's see, we have energy data from the city and the county, all the building energy usage for all the buildings. So there's very practical stuff in there. May not be the most sexy challenges in the world, but these are real problems that people in the community have identified. So come by our table and talk about it. The last thing is the sustainability piece. So, hackathons are great sources of innovation, experimentation, but we want to make sure that some of the projects, some of the ones that have the most staying power, things that you might be interested in working on afterwards, have support from us in the local community and the local tech scene. So if you want to continue to work on your projects afterwards, we want to help support you in that. So looking forward to seeing everybody's creations, and feel free to stop by and ask us anything. Have a good day.
Alright, so time for the API presentations. These the sponsors are going to have 3 minutes because we want to be respectful of your time. We want to get you out of here as soon as possible so that you can start hacking, you can start the tech talks, and all the fun. So without further ado, I am going to call up Citrix. Let's do it.
All right, so my name is Robert Mills. I work on the SharePoint team at Citrix, but just to give you a high level. Is that better? Yeah. All right. So high level, we have lots of APIs available for GoToMeeting, GoToMyPC, ShareFile, Podio, a lot of our products. The product team that we work on is ShareFile. So you can go to api.sharefile.com, take a look. We have code samples in C#, VB, PHP, Perl, Python, and Ruby. We also have an SDK available. It's up on GitHub and available through a NuGet package if you are a .NET developer. Anything else on that?
So we have, for these APIs to work, you need to be authenticated. So we do have a list of test accounts, usernames, passwords. You can get the list from the
table, the sponsor table.
Yeah,
the sponsors table. And also, you can also email me as well if you have questions. It's just my name, Alan Jan at Citrix. So.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
All right, next up is IBM. IBM in the house. This is what I told all the mentors who are giving a TED talk. I'm sorry, not a TED talk, but an API presentation. Please come up to the front.
All right, hey, I'm Lee from IBM. I actually have a longer talk coming up at like 1:45 in Hudson Hall. I'm going to be talking about IBM Bluemix. It's a platform as a service. So it's something, we have a 30-day free trial. So everyone can sign up at bluemix.net. And if you sign up, or if you want to hear about what it is, you can come to my talk. Basically, what it means for you guys is you'll get free web app hosting using kind of your choice of language. It's very similar to some other platforms and services such as Cloud Foundry, which is based on, or Heroku. And again, we'll have IBM experts at the IBM booth, the whole hackathon. So come stop by and we'll help you out. Thanks.
Excellent. Next up is eBay.
Well, we don't. We'll be all right. Okay, hey, we're eBay. We're here to talk about the eBay Developers Program and the PayPal Developers Program and its APIs. So who are these guys? I'm Jimmy Wong. I'm at the eBay Developer Program.
I'm Carl Klimek, and I'm working on eBay now.
Adam Millardi, recommendations.
Linda Satish from PayPal.
Bob Havlicek from PayPal. Josh Urban with eBay, working with APIs.
Sweet. So, what are APIs, or what are eBay APIs? eBay APIs allow you to do stuff that you can do on eBay.com, but you can do it programmatically. So anything you can do on there, like selling, finding, searching, all that good stuff, you can do it in your programs, in your websites, in your apps, and you can build really cool stuff with it. And one of the really great benefits of it is you can use any programming language. So whatever you're familiar with, you can use that. Oh, same thing for PayPal APIs. Sorry guys, I forgot about that. That was the last minute bit. So how do you get started? You go to developer.ebay.com or developer.paypal.com, and you click sign up. And then after you sign up and you activate your account, you get your keys. Now you're all thinking like, well, what the heck are keys? Keys are what identifies you as an application or a developer to eBay or PayPal. And you use your keys to generate an authentication token. And now you're thinking, dude, what the heck is an authentication token? And what are they used for? Tokens allows your application to make API calls on behalf of the user. So let's say, for example, I'm an application that you're writing, and Josh is an eBay seller. Well, I can't start selling stuff on his behalf until he says, okay, dude. So can I sell stuff on your behalf? Okay, dude. Right on. So I can sell stuff on his behalf. Now, the cool thing about that is you don't have to ask him every time you want to sell something. You just get one token, and it's good for 18 months. But after 18 months, I got to ask him again. Dude, can I sell stuff on your behalf? Yes. Right on. All right, so that's basically how the program works. The next steps, I recommend you check out our API guide on developer.ebay.com. It'll help you, it'll go through all the APIs we have, and it'll show you all the functionalities so you can figure out what you need for your app and use it. Grab a Red Bull or whatever energy drink you guys like to use. Use your imagination, collaborate, and make something special. Oh, I got a Coach K quote. Imagination has a great deal to do with winning. So use your imagination and win, guys, win. All right, finally, if you need help, developer.ebay.com has a knowledge base. It's got tons of great answers for really common questions to help you get started. and also some answers from, for some pretty uncommon ones too, just in case you have a weird question. I highly recommend you reference our API documentation. It's got a whole lot of information on there, probably more than you need, but you're still going to need to use it in order to use APIs. Also on developer.eve.com, we have tutorials. Those are really great to help you get started. If you need help collaborating teammates, if you don't know the answer to something, I'm sure somebody else in the crowd does, so go meet somebody. Maybe they'll have the answer, maybe you'll score a date, who knows. And finally, come to our table and ask us. We're experts, and we answer questions all the time, so come. And finally, if you're not really social, you just like to be on social media, I'm on Twitter @eMadeDev, so you can shoot me questions there too, I can help you out. And finally, last thing, sorry, we're hiring. We got 2 open recs. If any of you guys like to program in Java and you like to build tools, come to our table and talk to me. All right, guys, bye.
Okay, well, anyways, not really sure what's up with that combo, but we'll figure it out. Next up is Coursera. Let's get your stuff up here. Welcome to, oh, actually, everyone say, hi, Dan Dan. Hi, Dan. Yeah. We're gonna go fast.
Okay. Hello? Cool, can you hear me? So I think first of all, we give a round of applause for the organizers because they did an amazing job. Alright, so who am I? I'm Dennis. I work with Coursera. Our mission is to provide universal access to the world's best education. But I'm going to keep this nice and short. So what are we doing here? We're giving a prize. So the winners of the education tracks and prize and care about education will get a free trip to Coursera HQ and lunch with one of our executives. You can read the full details of that on the website online. And if you want to sign up for a mobile app, go to bit.ly/Coursera beta. Also, come by our booth at 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. We're providing Sluggies. Coursera labeled Sluggies, limited edition. I mean, there's only 100 of them, so you gotta be careful. They're not making these anymore. So you want those for tonight. And as for us, there are 3 of us. 4 of us, sorry. We're sitting over there. Ishin, he works on mobile, so talk to him if you want to do us on Android. Me and Jan, we're both people on and we do web development. Alright, thanks.
Thank you, alright, next up is Versal. You're having a weird math issue, so you can actually, do you need slides? Do you not? No?
That's fine.
Skip it.
I'll just take my 3 minutes to convince you guys that you need to work on education. Because we heard some stuff about poverty, about energy, all super important. But education is also very important because it's sort of the fundamental thing that you need to fix things. If you want to fix things, you need to know stuff, and to know stuff, you need to learn things. So, what do we do at Versal? We basically looked at what is the best way to learn things. Is the best way to learn things to just listen to a lecture, like I'm doing now? Not really. Is it looking at a boring textbook? Not really. The best way to learn stuff is to interact with things, to explore things, to do things together. And so what we did at Versal is we created an interactive course builder where teachers can create courses that are interactive, with simulations, with quizzes, with all that kind of stuff. And these courses consist of little gadgets. Those gadgets can be dragged into the course by the teachers without any coding required. But we need to have a lot of gadgets for this to work. We've made some gadgets ourselves, some quiz gadgets, some little games, that sort of thing. But we need a lot of ideas from you guys to actually make really cool interactive gadgets that teachers can use to just bring a great learning experience to their students. So go to versal.com and click on develop. We have an API that is open to use, and the gadgets that you make on our API can be used on Versal, but also on other websites because it's a completely open source API. We also have some prizes for the best gadgets that we will hand out tomorrow. And of course, the best gadgets will be published on the Versal platform so the teachers can actually use it. Thanks a lot.
Alright, okay, next up we have Epic. Is Epic in the house? Crickets. Alright, next up, after that, is someone coming up? No? Okay. Cedric? Hey, oh, wait, did I just skip someone?
No, just Cedric.
Cedric, yeah, let's do it. Come on up.
His is the only one that worked.
Wow. Hey everybody, get off your phones because I only have 3 minutes and we have to do this very quickly. Alright, so this is your meal. If you like Ruby, you can call me Yaml. I don't like it, but I'll let you do it. I work at a very cool company called Sender, and we make it super simple to send and receive emails for you guys, developers. But instead of me saying this, how about we play some Pokemon? Get those phones out. So, start sending me emails at androiditalian@cdemos.com with the subject line 80, and I'll be very happy if you do.
Any email?
Open your Gmail, compose email, and start killing me. Yes, send me more emails. We have 76 life points before Ashley kicks me out. So what's happening is you guys are sending me emails, Sender is receiving them and sending them to my server. So I can do this with my application and eventually go check all the crap. So, and then I'm sending you an email back with instructions on how to sign up and Sender and whatnot. So I hope all of you are sending emails right now. Alright, you're gonna click. Alright, so the person who get a different email, please find me, I'll buy you something. I don't know, a Chromecast or whatever you want. To get started, it's super easy. Just go to singer.com. We have a library for pretty much any language out there. We have a library for pretty much any language out there. Java, Ruby. We even have a COBOL one. That was meant to be like an April Fool's joke, but it kind of works. So we have libraries for everything. We got you covered. Also, right? For the best use of the Sender API, we're giving out these guys. So you can charge while you charge while you charge. And around midnight, we're going to have massages. So you guys want massages at midnight? Come by. They're on Sender. And what else? If you don't come by, this will be me. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's a guy sitting on a cat suit right there. Ow! And if you don't come by to talk to me at some point, even if it's like chit chat, I'm fine. I don't need to tell you about we can chit chat about anything you want. I'm gonna be like very sad. So I'm gonna be here all weekend. My Twitter handle is very hard to read. Sorry. And I'll be here. I'll help you with whatever you need. And I got some swag left. Alright.
So thank you so much, Senders. Alright, so yeah, 2 more you guys have left, 3 minutes each. Sorry about that Firebase, I accidentally skipped 2.
in the other building. We are going to go ahead, I was going to live code a chat demo in 3 minutes, and I usually do it in 10, so it's 40% less time. But instead, we're going to go ahead and I'll just run through a quick demo that has some stuff on real-time data and why real-time data is the best data, and how you can make that happen with Firebase. So this talk is entitled Firebase in 30 minutes. We're going to do it in 3. So I'm going to be blowing through this really, really quick. So what is Firebase? Firebase makes real-time stuff easy. We allow you to store and sync your data in real time. I'm Mike McDonald. Jenny, her hair is in fact that green, so you should be able to find her. We're wearing these obnoxious yellow shirts. We have obnoxious yellow headbands, obnoxious yellow shoes. We're all about that swag game. An agenda, again, really, really brief, so I'm going to blow through this. What is real-time data? Why is it hard? How do we solve that? I would do some live coding, and I'll show you some real-world examples. We have a lot of companies here who are actually using us for their shipping products. So, I mentioned this. Real-time data is data best served fresh. We have this graph of the time value of data. You want your data right at that left side when it's most valuable to your end users. We have a really cool, I know open data sets were mentioned. You guys see that bus? This is Chapel Hill's bus data that we pulled and made in real time and are displaying it on Google Maps. Again, real-time data is the best data. You can see that changing. We also have, you guys can go to tinyurl.com/DukeDraws and join me drawing. You'll go ahead and see me drawing, and you can go ahead and draw along. I see a couple of you guys have found that and are starting to draw. So, there you go. I'm going to switch before anyone does anything obscene. We also have cryptocurrency prices and a bunch of other really, really cool things that have real-time data with them. Okay, settle down, everyone. There are a couple of really hard problems here, one of which is dealing with transports. So if you're going ahead and building a mobile app, a web app, maybe you're doing some IoT things, there are a lot of really difficult things in how to get your data to and from wherever you're storing that data. You also have to deal with, as we're dealing with right now, unreliability in networks and other forms of connections. And then also, hey, I want to build a mobile platform, I want to build a web app, dealing with all those multi-platform things. It's hard to scale because you end up with this giant network spaghetti. And we solve that because we use this basically giant Firebase, and it looks exactly like that. I'm kidding, it actually doesn't look like that. But we go ahead and have those little Firebases that you see over on your iOS device, your web device, your Android device, kind of storing the data, and then we go ahead and synchronize those states in real time. A little bit of JavaScript is really this easy. You just go ahead and create a reference to your Firebase, set your data, and then anytime that data changes, you go ahead and set up a listener that will fire and give you that data. Super, super easy. We have Android, iOS, and JavaScript native client libraries. If you guys like doing web development, we also have bindings for Angular, Ember, Backbone, React. You guys can go ahead and just write pure JavaScript. You can do Node. If you guys like that Java server stuff, we also can do that. Yeah, I heard one person really excited about that. And a couple other things that we have that are really good for hackathons, in addition to just storing and syncing all of your data, and I say like that's a really hard problem that we solve for you. We also will do OAuth and other forms of authentication. So you can go ahead, log in with Twitter, GitHub, Facebook, Google+, email, password, whatever you want, and get tokens actually to Facebook, GitHub, all of those things. So you can go ahead and access their APIs. It's actually easier than using their libraries to get tokens. And then the other thing we do is we have static asset hosting. So if you guys are building websites, you can go ahead and host your entire website on Firebase. A couple little facts. Plotted on a graph because we just got acquired by Google, so we're corporate now. So we had to have a graph. A couple nice numbers about Firebase. 1 million concurrent connections. We scaled really, really well. We have large companies like Twitch TV. The entire Nest backend is Firebase. 120,000 developers and growing every day. You guys should be really, really excited to join that community. Founded in 2011, and then obviously acquired by Google less than a month ago. We love developers. These are some people at Hack Illinois over here on the left. The winners, and I think 2 of the top 3 teams won on Firebase, and then at CalHacks, which was a couple weeks ago. We read some code, and then a couple big ones. The Citrix folks. GoToMeeting uses Firebase, so really, really awesome there. Talkboard also uses Firebase. We really love you guys at Citrix. We love it too. CBS has a chat system for Big Brother that is used by Firebase. And then Twitch TV, as I mentioned, Warby Parker, if you guys have heard of eyewear, they have a really cool use case. Those vacuum tubes that you guys seen in like 1970s banks, they will go ahead and deliver your eyeglasses via those vacuum tubes. You kind of stick the glasses in and you just boom, and then your glasses are there. That's all controlled by Firebase. And then Coffee Meets Bagel, I describe it as slow Tinder. It's basically a dating app where you only get one person per day, and we provide all the chat functionality and that kind of stuff. So, again, I think I've run way over my 3-minute limit, sorry about that. So wrapping it up, some of the things we talked about why real-time is hard, how Firebase makes it easy, and then you can go to firebase.com/sign up and sign up for free. So, if you have any questions, we're wearing the Obnoxious Yellow shirts. We'll be around all day, all night, and all tomorrow.
We're hiring.
We're also hiring.
Google.
Yeah, there you go.
And we'll get you.
So, excellent. Thank you very much.
Ready. So, last but not least, we have Marcus. All right, take it away.
Okay, so we'll talk about prizes first, because that's usually the most interesting thing. We've got 4 Dell Venue Pro tablets we're going to give out for the best usage of Azure. Raise your hand if you know what Azure is.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. Okay, for everybody who doesn't know what Azure is, it's basically a cloud platform for hosting, analytics. You got virtual machines you can put up there. You can do all the real-time data processing. But I think one of the most interesting things that I've heard so far today is the power of data. We've heard about open data. We've got data coming from these energy systems. We've got data coming from absolutely everywhere. So at 4 o'clock today, I'm going to do a talk on predictive analytics on open data. We'll kind of just pick a data source, and I'm going to just wing it, and we'll see what we can predict. Last time at HackDuke, we decided to do flight data. We were able to predict whether somebody's flight is going to be delayed or not with an 80% accuracy 1 week in advance. So that's pretty impressive. You'll use Azure Machine Learning for that. So if you're interested in learning how to use Azure, come to my talk at 4 o'clock or drop by the booth. Other things you can do with Azure, has anyone seen my talk about chicken defense systems? Nobody knows. Okay. I decided to buy a bunch of chickens, and I've got some predators in my backyard, so I decided that my chickens needed to be defended, so I've got a Kinect and a paintball gun. What I discovered was that that Kinects are really good at detecting human skeletons, so it started shooting me. Well, I decided that was a really difficult problem because foxes, raccoons, and things like that have a different skeletal system that the Kinect isn't good for. So you send up that data up to the cloud in Azure, and then you can real-time process that data and send back down a response that says, no, that's not a person, that's a raccoon, that's fine. I also have a Pomeranian that looks a little bit like a fox, so that created a different kind of problem. But we'll discuss that one later. But the point is that you can do practically anything that you want with Azure. I've got colleagues who've done real-time streaming for the Olympics, financial transactions. Anyone like MMORPGs? Sweet, okay. We just broke the world record by over 100-fold for most simultaneous users. Go look up Age of Ascension. It's a space shooter, 250,000 players playing simultaneously, shooting each other across the globe. Absolutely phenomenal. You see the little dots in the far corner? It's actually somebody shooting at you. Oh, I like shooting. Anything that is technical, you can play with. So yeah, that's the end of the story. I can keep talking until they kick me off. Yeah. All right. Come to the Microsoft booth. We've got prizes. Use Azure. Use open data, and solve some real-world problems.
One announcement, name tags, again, reminder, if you don't have the little badge, get it. Also on Wi-Fi, as every kind of hackathon goes through Wi-Fi process, even though we've been pretty, clean slate for the past 2 semesters until this one hit. 2 people, stay on your Duke network, please. And then everybody else, go onto the visitors network. It should hold y'all. Don't go onto the HackDuke network. We're still trying to get that fixed. And that's it.
Just a reminder, if you lost your keys to find your work answer, we had another API person that you could squeeze in at the last minute, but if you go to the A16Z booth, Tamian would really like to talk to you about the API. There's some really cool systems and security stuff going on.
Sweet. Alright, so, hold on. We have one last thing. Justin from LH, the man you've all been waiting to see in a cat suit.
Oh! How many dollars your first hackathon? Raise your hand. Oh, wow. All right. You're about to have a really good time. For those of you that have never been to a hackathon, it's less about the code and more about the relationships y'all build here, because you're going to be finding your best friends and your future company co-founders. Please have a great time here. It's Christmas in the hardware lab, I promise. We got Oculus, we got Mayo, we got pretty much everything you can do to build a spaceship. All right, we got everything. We're also giving out a Mayo prize. We're giving out the Oculus prize. I mean, not Oculus prize. There's Leap Motion prize. Sorry, so much money. All right, y'all. Have fun.